Imagine you're taking a walk through your neighborhood park with your friends on a cool, sunny day. You pass by your neighbor and their dog taking one of their daily walks. You pass by the playground and a sparkling fountain, when all of a sudden, you start to hear some unusual sounds of splashing and birdsong. As you follow these strange sounds into a cluster of trees, the air seems to get warmer. And the closer you get to the sound, the more the trees begin to change into a dense jungle. You push past a large bush, only to stumble into a wild animal meeting. You look in amazement at a giant giraffe, a sly alligator, a happy hippo, and a wise-looking elephant with a chipper toucan on its back. You can hardly believe your eyes, and just then you hear your friends calling you back to the neighborhood park you just knew. You'll have to tell them all about the fantastic jungle animals you've just seen. Luckily, today we will be learning how to sculpt one of these jungle animals out of clay. Would you like to learn how to make a toucan? Make sure to gather all your materials. For your first step, roll out a strip of black clay. Apply in strips all over your toucan foil structure until it's completely covered in black clay. Once covered, make sure to smooth over any bumps, bubbles, or bald spots. For the toucan's belly plumage, flatten out a conical strip of yellow clay and press onto the front belly and into the underside of the beak. Take care in smoothing the edges of the yellow clay into the black clay body. For the toucan's top beak, mix a bit of yellow and green clay together completely. Flatten out this new yellow-green clay and wrap it around your toucan's top beak structure. Flatten out a ball of purple clay and wrap that around the very tip of your toucan's top beak. Roll 2 balls of orange clay into small cones. Flatten them and place one on each side of the toucan's top beak, where the yellow and green details meet. Roll 8 small balls of green clay into little cones and place 4 of the green cones onto each side of the toucan's top beak, on top of the orange cone you just added. Now for your toucan's wings. Roll 2 balls of black clay into cones. Flatten them and place onto either side of your toucan's body, slightly overlapping the yellow chest piece. Then, roll 10 small balls of black clay into long cones. Place 5 of those long black cones onto the front edges of each black wing shape. For the toucan's back tail feathers, roll 3 balls of black clay into long cones. Flatten them and place onto the very end of your toucan's tail shape. Make 4 more black cone shapes, but this time do not flatten them. Press them into a tight row and place on top of the flat ones you just added. Make 4 orange cones and place in a row on top of the black cones. Make 5 tiny purple cones and place in a row on top of the orange cones. Now for your toucan's face details. Flatten out 4 cones of yellow clay and slightly curve out the pointed ends. Place 1 of each flattened yellow cones onto each side of your toucan's face, and then place the next 2 flattened cones next to and slightly on top of the first, on each side of the toucan's face. For the eyes, press little indentations into each of the top yellow cones. Place flattened green circles onto each of the indentations, and then place each of the pre-baked eyes on top of the green circles. For the brow bones and eyebrows, first make 2 short, thick cylinders out of yellow clay. Place each of them above the eyes you just added. Make 2 small, thin strings out of black clay and place on top of the yellow cylinders. To make some head feathers, roll 3 small balls of black clay into cones, and place each of them in a row onto the pointed end of the toucan's head. Now for the toucan's bottom beak. Make a long, flat cone of yellow clay about the same length as the top beak. Flatten out some green and yellow clay and wrap around the middle and pointed end of the yellow cone. Flatten out a bit of purple clay and wrap around the tip of the yellow cone. Then, place this purple, green, and yellow lower beak up against the chest and upper beak of the toucan and press into the position you want. Roll 8 tiny balls of green clay into short cones and place 4 in a row on each side of the bottom beak. Let's make the wooden branch this toucan will sit on. Mix together a bit of orange, green, and black clay together until they are marbled but not entirely mixed. Roll this new marble clay out flat and wrap around your foil rod structure until it's entirely covered with clay. For your toucan's legs, roll 2 balls of green clay into cylinders. Guide toothpicks into each, leaving both ends of the toothpicks still exposed. Roll 6 balls of green clay into cones. Place the green cones in rows of 3 on top of the wooden rod you created. Then create 2 more green cones and place each of them at the back of the rows of 3, with the tips of the front and back cones touching. Now you've created the toucan's feet. Place each of the clay toothpicks into the middle of each foot. With your toothpicks, poke holes into the bottom of the toucan's body. Then gently guide the toothpicks into those holes until all of the toothpick's wooden surface is covered and the toucan's body is steadily balanced on its legs. And you're done! You've created your very own toucan.